a new MOBA of epic proportions. A bootcamp to get your virtual self into shape, and what? An esport is going to be on ESPN? Hey guys, I'm your host Gillyweed with MMO Play, and I'm bringing you all that and more this week on MMO News. This week, independent game studio Motiga announced their new game, Gigantic, with screenshots and a launch trailer that features an incredibly brief morsel of in-game footage. The game's developers, otherwise known as Motigans, have been putting together an alpha for the tactical, free-to-play, multiplayer online game. The trend this year has seen developers jumping onto the MOBA boom, and a constant stream of top-down, cookie-cutter MMOs have been announced as a result. But true to its name, Gigantic has some big differences in store and is going to shake things up a bit when it comes to battle arena gaming. For starters, the teensy tiny chunk of in-game footage in the trailer suggests that the game will play out like an MMO FPS rather than a MOBA, with your warrior aiming and strafing manually to take on the enemy. And what gives Gigantic its name is the inclusion of some monstrous beasts. The game still maintains the typical 5-on-5 engagement, but in addition, each team appears to have an enormous, aggressive, godlike creature as their backline instead of the normal mobs, towers, and bases. While it already seems like the company is kicking ass, Motiga is also taking names for Gigantic's alpha, so check out the link in the description below if you'd like to sign up. Prepare yourselves, Blizzard fans! A new Heroes of the Storm battlefield is coming to the MOBA in the near future. A new dev diary has been posted on the game's official website detailing the unique character of this battleground called the Garden of Terror. Players will duke it out on the 3-lane map that features both day and night cycles that greatly impact the gameplay of the match. The team goal for this map is to collect 100 seeds by killing NPCs on the map. Once a team has collected enough seeds, a player can click on fertile soil inside their base to become the incredibly powerful Garden Terror. The other interesting mechanic in this battlefield is the cycle between day and night. When night comes, mercenary camps disappear and the night horrors come out. The map also becomes much more dim at night, restricting the vision of the player's heroes. This allows for a shift in strategy, allowing the opportunity to strike with surprise. Night will last as long as there are still night horrors on the map, so teams can strategize to protect or kill them as quickly as possible to keep the cycle of day in their favor. No news yet on a release date for this map, but stay tuned with MMO Play for more info on the Garden of Terror as it grows. One of the world's largest LAN parties began on Thursday in Dallas, Texas. QuakeCon is one of the biggest BYO computer events in the world, where gamers gather to show off the fastest, smallest, coldest, and most overclocked desktops that money can buy. The annual event is mostly in honor of the work of id Software, namely Quake, Wolfenstein, and Doom. Besides their MMO FPS tournaments and console comparing, there is plenty of stuff going on, from tabletop competitive card gaming to casual gaming. The usual MMO FPS madness will also be happening throughout, with several Quake Live tournaments on the schedule, each offering prize pots ranging between $2,000 and $20,000. Other areas of ZeniMax media are celebrated at QuakeCon too. Fans can look forward to some representation from Bethesda, with plenty of Elder Scrolls Online coverage, including PvP tournaments, speedruns, and a dedicated live stream. If you're too far from the action in Dallas, the bulk of the Quake Live tournament can be found on the official QuakeCon livestream, with the Elder Scrolls Online tournament streaming over on the Bethesda Twitch channel. The problem of living in a fantasy world is that some demonic horde always seems hell-bent on invading it. Neverwinter players have the chance to repel such creatures in the Call to Arms Gate Crashers event that started on Thursday. It seems that the soldiers of Scar Keep are pleading for aid to defend one of the teleportation gates in the chasm. The foul spawn of the chasm are trying to take control of the gate through a large host of creatures. It's up to gamers to stem the tide and keep control of the gate in the hands of the forces of good. Even better, the event is open for all players from level 6 to 60. All a player needs to do to take part is just queue up for the skirmish. There are plenty of rewards for taking part in the event, which lasts through Monday, so queue up early and often, because after all, it's your civic duty to put down demonic invaders. Neverwinter's had a busy week, as Cryptic has also just released more details on the new Neverwinter Scourge Warlock that uses the devastating powers of darkness in the service of potential good. The Scourge Warlocks have made a pact with Dark Patrons in order to fuel their powers. They then use this eldritch power to decimate and destroy foes, which means that they are powerful damage dealers. They also use powerful curses to bring their enemies to their knees. Players can customize their Scourge Warlock by specializing in one of 3 feat trees: Fury, Damnation, and Temptation. Neverwinter Scourge Warlocks can fill the role of primary damage dealers in a party and also act as support. They can also command a soul puppet to fight alongside them, and they have access to the Hellbringer Paragon Path, which summons fiery horrors and opens gates to the 9 hells in order to destroy those who stand against them. This powerful new class will be available in the free MMO when Module 4, Tyranny of Dragons, launches on August 14th. Now there's little reason for you to roam around clueless in Arma 3. Bohemia Interactive has just deployed the Arma 3 Bootcamp update, which adds single and multiplayer tutorials in a virtual reality training environment. Beginners will benefit from going through the new single-player campaign that runs down the essentials of infantry combat, including actions, navigation, and weapon handling. Veterans of the game also have a huge role to play in the Bootcamp update. They can help newcomers through the multiplayer training mode that gives specific challenges to both trainees and instructors. Using the new virtual reality training environment is also a must for any serious new player. Doing so will enhance player skill in the game without the harsh penalties of making mistakes. In addition to the multitudes of training methods, the Bootcamp update debuts its virtual arsenal, which lets you view all the available character, equipment, and weapon details. Advanced users should be able to use the virtual arsenal for configuring custom settings such as identity types and insignia. Fatigue and weapon sway mechanics even get cool refinements in this major update. The former now takes into account the weight of a player's gear, among other factors, to determine his rate of movement. The latter factors in the weight of weapons, so that heavy arms users will find it more difficult to line up their target quickly and accurately. What are you most excited about from this Arma 3 update? Let us know in the comments below. Well guys, it's that time again. Here's your 5 in 1 with 5 stories flashing by in just 1 sentence each. The esports world rejoiced on Thursday at the announcement that the International Dota 2 Championships will be broadcast live on ESPN3. Compounding on their announcement last week of a Heroes of the Storm localization in China, Blizzard this week announced that they, starting with Diablo 3, will begin localizing all 5 of their game series in the country. A massive DDoS attack on Wednesday left many MMO players unable to play several games, including EverQuest, Guild Wars 2, WildStar, and Elsword. Riot Games has deactivated all previously issued skin codes to protect players from scanners, but don't worry, all codes that have already been redeemed will not be removed. And finally, Tibia, one of the oldest MMOs still on the scene, is compressing its 15 server groups into 5, 3 US servers and 2 European ones, but they have also 2 open PvP worlds in production. Well guys, that's all for this week's MMO update, so thanks for watching. As always, please like, follow, and subscribe for all the latest info, contests, and more. Once again, I'm Gillyweed, and I'll see you next week, but until then, I'll see you in game.